Team Jubilee. If I had one of those, the black lady, I would have presented it to you.
Oh, this is what you were saving. Nice.
I am being so riveted, but now I have to wait along with the rest to know what happens next. So, Vikram, I'm going to start with you. Recreating this world. So when there was Prosenjit sir's character and Aditi's, I kept thinking, is it Himanshu Rai? Is it being inspired by Devika Rani? Is it Shobna Samar? Is it Ashok Kumar? Everything into one. What was it like creating this world? And was there somewhere that feeling like, wish I could go back into this world and wish I was a filmmaker then?
No, I always wish I was a filmmaker then, because I think the ambition of filmmakers back in the day, whether it's our Indian filmmakers, whether it's Raj Kapoor or Guru Dutt, or Vijay Anand, or even internationally, I think what Hitchcock and Kurosawa and all my favorite filmmakers, I think the ambition back then was incredible, and I think we are here today because they've been there, they've set the path ablaze for us. No, so the creation of the world, yeah, it's inspired, I think, by the urban legends that we have heard over the years. So it's not one specific one or the other. I think it's just the word of mouth stories you hear about. Yaar, usne wo kiya tha, usne wo kiya tha, usne ye kiya tha. He made this, he did that. She did this, she did that. She was so brave. I think it's all those stories, kind of like distilled down, where you end up creating your own characters out of that. So there is a homage to the world and to the music and to the spirit of the people back then. But we wanted to create our own sort of like dramatic, really interesting characters that have a nice dramatic arc from beginning to ending, across the series. So that was a very conscious effort that we made. Kahin na kahin, let's make a nice drama-filled series with lots of conflict and lots of interest for people to watch. And that was the basic kind of like bottom.
Totally showbiz, scandals, suspense, everything like proper drama. And you're right, because Prosenjit sir's character kept thinking could be Himanshu Rai, Ashok Kumar. Sidhant's character, I kept thinking, is it one of the Kapoors? Is it like, Devanand? And then, of course, you have Apar. I was like, yeah, Ashok Kumar to nahi hai, Dilip Kumar to nahi hai, and of course, Aditi. So, Prosenjit, I'm going to start with you. Your father belonged to that time. I mean, the 60s, early 60s and late 50s. You've grown up in that scenario, became an actor yourself. Was there something that you observed then and while you were making the show now and being an actor yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I should start from New Theatres. They were the pioneer studios where Prithviraj Kapoorji used to work, Raj Kapoorji. They all started from Kolkata New Theatres, and the actors used to be like, even I know the legendary actors like Uttam Kumar and all, they all used to be paid monthly. The actors used to be with the studios, and I know about the owner of New Theatres, how he used to like operate basically. And in Bombay also, I knew about Shashwat Mukherjee. I used to hear from my dad that they used to have small, not the offices, the open air garden, the small kind of a cottages where music director is doing music and the actors are doing rehearsals. So that's a kind of a workshop now we say in the office we do. That time they used to do, and they used to create, what the best part that they used to create. I know a story where in, I think it's in Piyasa or Kagaz Ki Phool, where there were a lot of, those dancers. And Gurudutt ji came and for the shot, and he said the dancers are not quite good looking. So the cameraman and the director said, let's pack up for the day. Then they went to Mud Island, they sat full night, and the next day morning, the cameraman, what he did, the song is with the sitar. I forgot the song. So they cut out the kind of lighting they had done, all the faces are not in light, and only the body has been seen.
Oh,
so I'm saying that I had seen these people very closely in a way. So I had an opportunity to meet legendary like V. Shantaramji. So that's like, and I think it's a tribute for all of us, for those people who have, and whatever we are today, they have a lot of contribution.
Absolutely. And also that time the stars were stars. They were not very accessible. Today you know exactly what's being cooked in your favorite star's home, literally. So that
Nothing was very calculative, basically. What I would love to say is nothing was very calculative. It was more of emotions. Yeah, and that what I think somewhere we miss sometime, that emotion.
absolutely. Aditi, Sumitra Devi, yes, I know you kept telling me you're playing a character. I'm going to see you in a new shade. Very interesting. I want to see what she does next because जहां तक मुझे भेजा वो वहां पर रुका हुआ and I'm waiting to see what was it like and did you like do any research and I'm glad Vikram has given you this character because as I said now Aditi's characters can do no wrong. They're like perfect.
Aditi, life can do no wrong. She's just perfect.
I know. और
Not the
यहाँ पर
characters.
क्या मजे कर रही हैं क्या चल रहा है इनके दिमाग में
Dude, Pooja, it was so much fun. Like really, because at first it seems like, oh my God, how is this going to happen? And is it going to be believable? But then you have Vikram sir, who is he completely knows what he's doing. And then you have Atul Sabharwal's script and the writing, which really helps because like, I feel like especially when you're doing something that that doesn't come naturally to you or is alien to you or the way, it's also another era, right? So there's lots of body language differences, your clothes, your stimuli around you, everything is different. Even though what it is to be an actor and possibly to feel the, that public, this thing, like even now if I walk into an event, and I might walk a certain way, but when I'm sitting at home, I might like be like very different. Like, so I understand that duality, but with us, that duality is not that huge. We're pretty much who we are at all times. And as we were discussing the other day, it's all also if it didn't happen till it happened on the gram, and for the stars of that time. That magical quality, that unattainability. But I felt with Sumitra, what really made her really scrumptious was the main thing is that she's unapologetic about her power and her appeal and what happens to people when she walks into a room. I love that she owns that.
Women had a lot of agency then, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so beautifully created in this, in a man's world. And it's also shown that she is also struggling with it. She's constantly pushing to not prove her agency, but to make her agency valid,
Absolutely, yeah.
While people are pushing back. But what I also loved was her inner core, which is vulnerable, which is childlike and also impish. Like, that thing of, now I'm going to have fun. Now I'm going to put this lawyer in a position where he is squirming and dying just by looking at him. Like
everyone is squirming and dying around Sumitra Devi ma.
Yeah, but that's so much fun because, in real, when somebody says something to me, my hazir jawabi is minus. I remember 3 days later, oh shit, I could have said that and I would have been so badass if I could have said that. I've actually tried to mug up things that you can say. It just doesn't work. But Sumitra Kumari is so cool.
Yeah.
I should simply have Atul Sabharwal write my lines in real
life.
Exactly.
I love that. That was so much fun. But I also found the comfort of her heart. And the fact that she does anything for love and there is that vulnerable side to her. So that did give me comfort. That somewhere she's like a princess trapped in a castle,
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I love that play. Yeah.
No, it's very
But I could
interesting.
not have done it without this human being over here.
No, but it's just lovely. And for someone who's grown up on stories of that era and always been interested, you just keep thinking, who else? And it's lovely to put names and faces to the character that you are playing. So now coming to Apar kitna sangharsh tha waise. I quite enjoyed, Madan Kumar, Binod, that interplay. And he is there's somewhere guilt, there's somewhere ambition. And somebody doesn't want to be Mr. Shrikant Roy's devoted servant as he is portrayed to be.
टचवुड संघर्ष से पहले मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ कि it's upsetting.
आपने किस तरह से मॉडल भी किया अपने को, मुझे ये भी बताना सर.
यार मॉडल करने की पूजा आई डोंट थिंक सो जरूरत पड़ी ज्यादा, बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे वो जो डायलॉग डिलीवरी थी या जो ओवरऑल परफॉर्मेंस थी वो आज की ही परफॉर्मेंस है. वो परफॉर्मेंस येस्टर ईयर की परफॉर्मेंस की बीट नहीं है इन अ वे, एंड स्पेशली वेयर आई स्टार्ट एज विनोद दास. तो कहीं पे मॉडल करने की ज्यादा जरूरत नहीं पड़ी. एंड ऑल्सो ले देकर तो ये फिक्शन है सब कुछ. किसी ने कभी असली में रियल जिंदगी में किसी का खून नहीं किया हीरो बनने का. हाँ, so I mean, so इसलिए it's all fictional. You never know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
That look said a lot.
Guys don't know what you're talking about.
अरे सारा नहीं देखा. Shit.
We'll just be back. Come, let's
Yeah,
go
come on.
back.
Let's get it. Okay, yeah. So असली में कभी किसी ने ऐसा कुछ असली में कुछ मतलब you know
मैं उस थॉट से बाहर ही नहीं आ पा
किसी ने एक्चुअली में विनोद जैसा.
असली में तो ये सब कुछ फिक्शनल है ना. बट कमिंग टू द फैक्ट दैट यू नो मैं पहले ये बोलना चाहता हूँ कि इट्स अपसेटिंग दैट वी कुड नेवर बी इन दैट एरा. जो उस टाइम का जो ठहराव है, उस टाइम की जो नज़ाकत है, उस टाइम के जो कलर्स हैं, उस टाइम की जो गाड़ियाँ हैं, जो कपड़े हैं, इट्स अपसेटिंग कि वी कुड नेवर बी इन दैट एरा. बट इट इज़ ब्यूटिफुल दैट वी एज एक्टर्स हमें मौका मिला है कि वो जिंदगी हम 1.5 साल के लिए जी सकें. आई थिंक 1.5 साल में जब हम ये शूट कर रहे थे, बहुत बार ऐसा हुआ कि आप पैरल्स ड्रॉ करते हैं घर आके वापस कि उस जमाने में क्या हो रहा था और आज क्या हो रहा है. सो आई थिंक दैट एरा वाज एब्सोल्युटली ब्यूटीफुल. चाहे वो किसी भी चीज को ले लो आप, चाहे वो यू नो एक्टर लाइफ को ले लो, या चाहे आप दो लोगों की दोस्ती को ले लो. अगर विनोद और जय इस यू नो जुबली में दोस्त हैं तो बहुत ही कमाल की दोस्ती है. और यू नो आई हैव पिक्चर परफेक्ट मेमोरीज ऑफ दैट डे जो हम दहीसर वाले सेट पे शूट कर रहे थे, जब पहली बार यू नो जय खन्ना हैज अ वेरी चाइल्ड लाइक एक्साइटमेंट अबाउट विजिटिंग अ सेट, एंड मैं और ये एक साथ सेट एंटर करते हैं तो बहुत ही एक यू नो वो एक बहुत ही आपको एक प्योर बीट मिलती है. वो आई थिंक प्योर दोस्ती कम होती जा रही है इस दुनिया में आज के युग में. नहीं आई मीन सो
नहीं यार, अब तो मेरे फॉलोअर्स तेरे फॉलोअर्स से ज्यादा कैसे? नंबर पिक्चर के नंबर मेरे पिक्चर के नंबर कैसे? आई मीन कम ऑन.
या आई मीन यू आर राइट. जिंदगी लोग किस तरफ को जा रहे हैं वो थोड़ा सा हानिकारक जरूर है पूजा. सो वी रियली नीड टू काइंड ऑफ sit back and understand कि कहाँ जिंदगी जा रही है. But yeah, I mean, coming back to our world, I think it is beautiful to be in that world. ज़्यादा संघर्ष नहीं हुआ because you know the lines which were written by Atul sir were absolutely you know on point. And जिस तरीके की beat मुझे already विक्रम sir से या you know diction coach विकास sir से या फिर हमारे you know वर्कशॉप्स जोगीदा ले रहे थे, जो वर्कशॉप्स में एक बीट सेट कर दी गई थी, इट वाज फेयरली इजी टू कम ऑन सेट एंड देन डिलीवर बिकॉज एंड आल्सो कोविड हैपेंड इन बिटवीन, तो वो वर्कशॉप का टाइम थोड़ा और मिल गया. सो या आई मीन आई थिंक it all panned out really well.
Awesome. And you know, those days you have pictures of Dilip Saab, Raj Kapoor and Devanand
Yes.
pulling each other cheeks. And
Yes. सोचो कहाँ पे आज की डेट में ऐसा. Yes, आपने वो पिक्चर नहीं देखी? Such an iconic picture. And मतलब आज के जमाने में वैसी दोस्ती होनी जेन्युइनली हमारे fraternity में थोड़ी मुश्किल
आजकल
होती
की
है.
दोस्ती इसको कहा है. हाँ, देखो प्रार्थना. And now coming to Jay Khanna.
I love you, sir. तो ये संघर्ष नहीं है यार, बिल्कुल संघर्ष नहीं था. It was beautiful to be a part of this.
I'm sure. And now coming to Mr. Jay Khanna, Sidhant, I think you will now be immortalized in my head as Jay Khanna. So
I'm
आपका
so happy to hear that.
No, honestly, a fabulous performance by you. And I
Thank
like
you.
that, you know, that a tramp, that rake, everything into one. And somewhere what he aspires to be, I was thinking of all the, you know, the people who came during partition. They did set up successful studios like B.R. Chopra was one of them.
Yeah.
And, you know, back in the day. So what was it like, you, who is an actor of this time, you know, they say आपकी generation को उस टाइम की पिक्चरें बतानी होती है. What was it like for you?
Oh, for me, it was literally हम 2023 में अभी, so it's like going literally 70 years behind. So you know, it's a great feeling as an actor, and I must have done something right that I got this series, and I got to live in that era. I would say it's actually the script first, because ever since when I read it, it was an instant love affair with the story and with the character, the way it's written by Atul sir. And it's all his vision, end of the day, which I'm literally so happy that I could just bring in some life to, and being modest, I lived out loud. Yes.
When I saw you, the first thing that struck me was, is he Devanand? Then I was like, Raj Kapoor. That kind of back in the day. How did you observe any of the? Did you read up or anything while you were getting it?
I did my own research. It's also it's also a play of conscious and subconscious. When you're really just living through, when there's so much honesty in the script and in the character, you just delve into it. You just trust it so much that you just start to live it, and something or the other starts to just happen with all the references and everything that you've heard and seen. It's like a manifestation of some sort, manifestation of what you're going to play. So that happened, and it just, I don't know, it felt like it brought me to life, not just Jai Khanna. So it'll always be, I think it'll always be the most fascinating character for me, I have a feeling.
Absolutely.
Because no one writes characters like these. No one, I haven't ever, I never thought that something like this will come my way. That's why perhaps I could just give everything that I did. Yeah.
And this is for all of you. Vikram, it's called Jubilee. I really don't know whether we have Jubilees anymore. Kismat, I think, ran for 187 weeks or 137 weeks or something before partition. And you had those parties, premieres were the thing. There were no promotions. There was no social media back in the day. And the stars didn't give interviews. So making this film, a peculiar thing that struck you and you were like, oh my God, I was not aware of this.
I think a lot of the while doing the research and the research that was given to us, just before we ended up shooting, so for example, Atul and me knew about say how playback singing evolved over a period of time. Now, of course, we've made playback singing. We said that Srikanth Roy invented it. Of course, he did, but that's how we managed to be able to bring a part of history. Now, but one of the interesting things that we didn't know, for example, was that how in episode 5, as you were seeing, the Americans and the Russians, that level of influence that they were sort of doing, and the fact that the Russians actually had somebody in India who was the current cultural, person who's trying to be able to, have propaganda work. For that was a revelation for us. So the banning of the AIR songs we knew, but when you put together those little bits of okay, so that's how the songs were banned, but that's also there. So you kind of put two and two together to see how that works. So a lot of these things came as in the film industry within a socio-political context of what the country was going through at that point of time.
Yeah.
I think some of those things, kind of just were new to us. So the rest of it, Atul and me are kind of experts in the industry anyway. So we, small things with that research stuff we know. But it's these larger things that were quite surprising.
Look, that also was a revelation for me. And before we wrap up, I want to ask your cast, which is one thing from that era you wish you could teleport to this time? कि उठा के सबकी memory वो कर दो और ले आओ.
I think the cars at that time was so beautiful, and और आज की डेट में vintage cars का वैसे थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा I think एक चलन हो गया.
आपको cars या Jaguar या Bentley just driving on the streets of Mumbai.
The vintage cars are definitely kind of more comfortable than them in terms of the charm and everything.
Prosenjit, what would you bring back from that era?
What? Studio floors? Yeah. So I really miss my floors. Honestly, I used to work, floors only, studios only. Now we do shoot in real locations mostly.
Wow. And Aditi and Jay, I'm calling him Jay again, Sidhant. What would
I'm
you
happy with Jay, Pooja.
Thank you. Jay and Sumitra Devi, आप क्या लेकर आओगे उस time से यहाँ या change कर दूँ?
For me, that magical quality that actors had, where they didn't speak about themselves so much. So when they did speak, you were interested, and when you saw them on screen, you were dying to see them on screen, and they took you into the world and they made that world believable.
Absolutely.
So that magical quality about actors and stars.
And Mr. Jaikhanna, what about you? I'm waiting to see what happens next with you. I'm not going to divulge. Kahan par, kahan
Yeah,
tak
I'm not going to tell you either. I'm dying to. But I'm not
Don't tell me.
I think I would bring back the value of emotions that everyone had in that era. All the research that I did, everything that I saw in that era, it was all emotional for me. It's like वक्त ज़्यादा था, वक्त को महसूस ज़्यादा कर रहे थे लोग. अभी बस distracted ज़्यादा है. So I wish I could just bring that back.
That's so nice.
Yeah. But thank you so much. And once again, lovely show. And looking forward to what happens next.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you,
thank you,
Pooja.
once again.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Pooja.
Thank